On today's episode of the Glue Guys, we're just going to provide a little bit of an update regarding Kyrie Irving. Is he going to play basketball like soon or not that soon? We'll figure that out. And killer comparisons, NBA players and teams to certain holidays. Could be Christmas all the way down to Arbor Day. We'll get to that.
Let's be honest, Mike. We're under contract. We got to do an episode, okay? Let's call it like it is.
Welcome back to the Glue Guys. This is Mike Celebrate. Check us out on Twitter at BKGlueGuys, Netsdaily.com, The Athletic. Get yourself behind the paywall, theathletic.com/GlueGuys. Apple Podcasts.
Oh.
5 stars. We need them. We want to have them. That would be a holiday gift to Brian and I. Brian,
Michael.
the Nets.
Oh. Where's the drop?
Are postponed.
Yeah, they aren't back. That's right. Double postponement, Mike.
Shout out to YouTube audience. I'm in a different room. We moved, Brian. My family moved.
Finally did it.
So now I'm living actually in the bowels of Barclays.
Ooh.
In the clays. I've moved inside.
In the vaults?
Yeah.
You know, they have those like vault club things. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do, but apparently you could pay like $100,000 to go sit in there and watch a game on a TV or something. I don't know. I made up the number, but something egregious.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Brian, how are you, bro? You kind of said it in the tease. We are contractually obligated to do shows, and
we're punching in. This is our version of the Blue Collar Boys.
Everyone turn off.
No, come on. These are the most fun episodes, Mike. When
the
NBA is postponed, like the Nets games are postponed. There's not a whole lot of news outside of the insanity of COVID that we don't really want to talk about, anyways. So we just kind of BS, you and me.
I thought about our second episode this week. I can't believe I didn't.
What?
Christmas cocktails. We haven't done the cocktails episode. So let's
Christmas cocktails? Wow.
For anyone that doesn't know, Brian and I, it's a staple of our show. Every year we make cocktails based off of the personalities of Nets players.
Right.
The most famous example is Brian gave, what did you served it on
a Diablo 2 CD-ROM that I have. That was part of the Jared Allen cocktail. It was like there was like a gummy worm in it. It was some like a Shirley Temple with booze in it, served on a Diablo disc.
And we ate that a gummy worm dipped in alcohol.
It's pretty good.
It's not as good as you would think.
No, it's pretty good. I liked it.
Pretty good. So we'll do that later this week. We'll do a late night pod. Maybe we'll make the cocktails. And
we're over promising and almost sure to under deliver on this, Mike, but we'll see. We shall see.
First, I wanted to start with this before we get to our killer comparisons: NBA players to holidays.
Hey,
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
We've had a few days to digest the Kyrie Irving. We've heard all the takes. Sean Marks himself came out and spoke to the media, and again, we are in this massive Omicron spike. Omicron is now 3/4 of all new cases in America, which is a pure delight. And we have Kyrie Irving being introduced. And Mark said something that I said on the pod, so I know that he listens, in his press conference, is that when I guess someone must have asked him about how dangerous it is to introduce an unvaccinated player amongst the midst of the currently vaccinated guys. And he said, it's actually more dangerous for Kyrie than us because everyone else is pretty much vaccinated. I'm paraphrasing.
Sure.
But it's dangerous for Kyrie. It kind of is. But Kyrie's in COVID protocol now. And from my understanding, I believe Matt Brooks and Bob Windrum, Net Income, tweeted this out. That is because he had a positive test. Mm-hmm. It's not just that he was in COVID protocol because he was returning to the team. It's that he had a positive test, which is kind of insane.
It's classic. I mean, honestly, the day after the big reveal, you test positive. I mean, it's just perfect, but,
It feels kind of purposeful. Do you feel that? I mean, so like there's a certain thing where like if he is in fact tests positive, now there's actually a lot of disagreement. Some people would say you have to wait 60 days to get your vaccine shot. So it almost gives him a natural exemption to play home games because he can't play he can't literally get the vaccine. So why not let him play home games? But I don't know if that 60-day rule is like actually true. Like it's been said before, but if you Google like, can you get the vaccine after having COVID? Mm-hmm. They're pretty much like, yeah, the second you don't have symptoms, you can get the vaccine. You don't have to like There's no gestation period to wait.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing. We're so far afield with this. And the reason why we're doing this show now is that we don't have games. The Nets games have been postponed.
Yeah.
I am pro postponement because as much as I love Langston Galloway, Shaquille Harrison, and God knows who else is on this team at this point, I would kind of rather see Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant play basketball. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean the like only new and rando guys as like it's only fun if there's Kevin Durant or one of the good players playing with them, and mostly just Kevin Durant because he seems to really geek out on it. When that doesn't happen, it's not fun at all, I'll say. So I'm glad for the postponements so that we don't have to just watch bad basketball again. You know, we did that. We paid our dues. We did our time. Now I insist on watching one of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden along with whoever we pick up off these jobbers off the street.
So here are the list of guys who are in protocol: Kevin Durant, James Harden, James Johnson, DeAndre Bembry, Javon Carter, LaMarcus Aldridge, Bruce Brown, and Paul Millsap. And again, the clarification that we were searching for last show, and now that we have it, it means that they had a positive test or an inconclusive test. And if you have inconclusive, you pretty much do a quicker test, figure out if you're positive or negative, and all these guys are still in protocol. So everyone has had COVID on this team. I guess it is the perfect time to bring back Kyrie Irving, right? It's like what threat is he to anyone at this point?
I don't know. I mean, I mean, doing the whole Omicron's boring, and who knows what's going to come of it. I just my only thing is like I want for him to be able to play more games if he's going to come back, and also if this like mandate is in place going into next year, then it makes him being re-signed a lot more of a specious claim. For those reasons, I would have preferred he got vaccinated just so that we could clear all that good stuff up. But it
would be great if he was vaccinated.
It would be preferable. There's no doubt about it. Just playing 24 out of 82 possible games and probably not being able to re-sign because the arena that you play in doesn't want you to play there. Those are problems. Those are problems that would have been solved with a vaccination. But hey, here we are. What are you going to do?
We are, I think, 10 days away from the new administration in New York getting into power. Eric Adams will be taking over City Hall on January 1, my grandmother's birthday. I'm going to be hanging out with my grandma on her birthday.
Sick.
We're going to the bars.
Kick ass.
We're balling out.
Wow.
And so there's been a new data point that we need to talk about.
Oh.
And I actually told Brian before the show, don't talk about this, because it does not apply to the Nets.
You dressed me down and said,
"This is what I do. I tell you not to talk about things, and I steal your ideas.
Yeah.
That's part of the show.
It's sick.
It's in the fabric of the show." Boston has put in place a vaccine requirement for basically the same thing that New York has. If you want to go to bars and restaurants and you want to go into gyms and all that stuff, you need to be vaccinated. The difference is they do have an exemption for visiting basketball players, and I think home players too. I think the Celtics, if there's any unvaccinated Celtics, that they could still play basketball, or Bruins or any other indoor. Is there an indoor football team? I don't know in Boston, but an interesting thing. So it's another major municipality, a liberal bastion. Okay,
I don't like it. They don't even say
drinking game municipality ordinance that is making a decision to have a vaccine mandate, but is also deciding to give an opportunity to both home and away players to play unvaccinated. I think it's slightly interesting because
it's really funny that you're saying that, because when I brought it up to you, it felt incredibly uninteresting to you when I first said this.
Well, because your take, in all honesty, was going to be that you didn't know the facts. Okay, Brian?
well, I was asking you the facts. You're like, those questions are uninteresting, and yet here we are. Anyways, I'm interested.
You didn't know the facts. Now I have them, and they're interesting. Okay.
Okay. Fair.
It's like on January 6th on Fox News, all of those insurrectionists were bad people, and now they're all good people. Now we have the facts, and I guess they're good people, right? Apologies again to everyone.
Fuego today. Yeah.
I wonder if more and more cities are going to be enacting vaccine requirements, but then also are more and more cities going to sort of follow the Boston, mostly New York model, where it's like these visiting performers will be allowed exemption. And if that's the case, does New York then decide to match those cities? Like this flood of people, like, I think more and more places are going to be doing this, but I do think they're going to provide these exemptions for visiting performers. So I wonder if New York, Eric Adams is going to make that slight tweak and say, hey, no big deal. This applies to like 50 people in the world, one of whom ends up actually being Kyrie Irving. If you're a visiting performer or a home performer, you don't need to be vaccinated. This is just speculation. I really do wonder. I mean, he's going to have multiple press conferences. Brian, I think you and I should get to one of these press conferences and get an answer, because someone needs to ask him these questions.
Does visiting performers like Cirque du Soleil? Cirque du Soleil. Is that a... Are those visiting performers? Is that technically a visiting?
Those are visiting. Yeah. And we know Cirque du Soleil is anti-vax at its core. I mean, have you ever been to a Cirque du Soleil?
I'm just going to guess if there's at least a handful in a Cirque du Soleil. They think outside the box. They march to the beat of their own drums. So I would assume that there's at least
the Blue Man Group.
Right.
Sorry. What a lame. Can I tell you a lame joke I had today?
I'm excited.
I went to Trader Joe's. God, this is so sad. I went to Trader Joe's. You know how the person at the register is like, did you find everything you wanted and were looking for? And I said, I even found stuff I didn't need, like, or something like that.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Okay.
You can do, as long as you didn't like set it up like this is the greatest joke of all time. If it was just,
well, do you know me?
Well, okay. There it was.
Yeah. I said to the register person, I was like, "Are you ready for this?" And then
hold on, drum roll. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I think let's take a break. Coming back, we're gonna do killer comparisons.
Love it.
1 second. Let me just pull it up. And we're back. Killer comparisons.
For the big Christmas special show. This is our Christmas special, Mike.
This is our Christmas. Yeah, this is the Christmas spectacular.
Yeah,
Rockettes featuring the Glue Guys. This is NBA players, NBA teams. You could anything in the NBA to holidays. Now, Brian and I.
I went Nets. I was completely off with this. So this is.
Oh, I apologize. That was a miscommunication on my
mine's
part.
Unique to the Nets, but that's fine. That's fine.
All right. So then I'll do the NBA guys.
Great.
And then you do the Nets.
Great. I love it.
So why don't you start off? Brian's going to do a little bit more obscure, and I'm doing sort of the standards, the standard holidays.
I mean, so I tried to go like the right kind of obscure because this in doing my research, which was deep research.
Do your own research.
I do
Always
my own
do
research.
your own.
And there's like kind of two polls in the holiday, like 10 most crazy holiday BuzzFeed style articles. There's ones that you've already heard of, like the Running with the Bulls, like everyone knows, nobody cares. And then there's the like National Hot Dog Day, or whatever, like those things that like you assume every day has one of these like
July 3rd, I think it is.
Things that nobody cares about, and the people that put it on like your face on Facebook are your aunts who are in their 70s.
What bugs the hell out of me is that there is a National Cookie Day, a day that encompasses all cookies, but then there's also a National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. And it's like, okay, so are we parsing out days? Is there a Snickerdoodle Day? Is there a ginger molasses cookie day?
And the answer is yes, because like there's some Snickerdoodle company who
was begging for a day, who are lobbying the Biden administration.
So, I mean, if I look it up right now, I bet you I'll find.
Do you know that's actually how the Build It Back Better bill fell? Is that Joe Manchin was lobbying for ginger molasses cookie day, and Biden wouldn't give it to him? That's why it broke apart. It crumbled like a cookie.
You're crushing. You're on fire, Mike. You're on fire. All right. So, anyways, some of these are going to be ones you like. You'll know this one, but like I tried to go kind of carefully obscure, somewhere in between those two polls. But the first is Guy Fawkes Night, November 5th.
Ooh.
So I because you don't spend too much time on the internet, or you probably haven't seen V for Vendetta in a while. So this is basically the V for Vendetta holiday. It's about it's about the guy that like
losers.
Yeah. So it's the day when there was a plot to blow up Parliament in like November 5th of 1605, Mike, and people celebrate this. Nowadays, people gather around bonfires to celebrate and set off fireworks all over the country, to celebrate like anti-establishment Shit.
Cool. It sounds like a terrorism holiday.
A little bit. So
real great, Brian.
And
tell me who's the terrorism holiday.
It's just about, information, like free flow of information. That's really what it's about. Okay, don't let the people control it. So obviously, you know who I'm going to choose here. I don't even need to say it. I mean, do I honestly need to say it? It's Kyrie. So it's obviously Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie's my July 4th. Because he's such a revolutionary figure, I love
that.
Muhammad Ali.
I just wanted to get that one off first because it segued neatly from we were just talking about that. But from here on, that's it. That's all the bit.
So Kyrie posted on his Instagram a picture of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali had tape over his mouth and he's being like escorted, I think, with handcuffs through a building. And people got real upset because they thought that Kyrie was making a comparison between himself and Muhammad Ali. I don't know if he was. But let's not, I'm all for sort of critiquing and criticizing people's Instagrams. I've made a living off of that on this show.
Agree. A fine living.
I don't think Kyrie is completely comparing himself to Muhammad Ali. I think he has a little bit more.
This goes back into my, and the offer still stands, my recommendation that he hire me to be his PR person, because I would love to.
Bud Egan PR is.
I would love to.
By the way, have you watched MacGruber on Peacock yet? Episode 1.
Oh, they have no, I didn't even know they have a whole series.
Oh,
wow!
TV show.
I fucking loved that movie. I don't, how I'm mostly pretty lame and don't love but that movie really got me. I don't love stuff. I love that movie.
The episode 1 is amazing.
God,
it's so funny. They play it like so straight. And Lawrence Fishburne's in it, and he's incredible.
Yeah. Damn. All right, count me in. Peacock, you finally got me. Finally got my $4.99, you bastards.
Okay, right, my first holiday, a big one, Christmas. Okay, and I remember I did NBA players, NBA teams. Anthony Edwards, childlike excitement, joy. Anthony Edwards reminds me of remember like one of the first viral videos I remember is when kids would get N64s. Around Christmas and Hanukkah time.
That one video of the N64.
The one kid.
Yeah.
Right? Who was blown away by it. Anthony Edwards is that. Anthony Edwards is pure joy, excitement, childlike wonder. One of the best parts about being an NBA fan is the Anthony Edwards gestation period that we've seen before, where it's the young star.
Did you use gestation twice today? Is that?
Did I use it before?
I think you might have. Gestation. Maybe not. Maybe it was last episode. I'm just
really more of a Brian word, to be honest.
Gestation. I'm just cataloging. Anyways, there was a gestation period.
It's that period of a young star. It's like first, second year. They have all this potential. They make all these highlight plays. Blake Griffin is sort of the best example of a guy who, young Blake was one of the most exciting players in NBA history. And like this is before there's the backlash to them, and before we pick them apart. Like Luka Doncic is being picked apart right now, and this is his 4th year in the league, and he's maybe like the 4th best player in the NBA typically, if not the 2nd best player at times. But we already are picking him apart. Anthony Edwards at the time when it's Christmas. We wake up in our pajamas, we smell that, I guess, bacon. I don't know. Do you make bacon for Christmas? I'm Jewish. I don't know. I've celebrated Christmas.
You'd never go near the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't really know the traditions, but he's Christmas to me. Okay. Yeah, Anthony Edwards. What's your next holiday?
So segueing neatly off of what you just were talking about, I'm going with the Vanuatu Land Diving Festival. The Vanuatu Land Diving Festival. So it doesn't say where this actually happens in the world, but it seems like some Papua New Guinea sort of area situation. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a rite of passage. Tribesmen of the Vanuatu, they bungee jump from a wooden tower, Michael. And here's the catch: the bungee cords are going to be made of vines. They don't have a ton of give. They're not like your standard, hitching something to your top of your. What do you got?
I think you got a minivan. What bungee cords are. We all understand what a traditional bungee cord is.
You know how they are a little bit more springy. These are vines from a tree, so they have less give. And basically the intent of the jump is to actually hit your head on the ground a little bit, just enough to
I like this. Spectacle. I love this holiday.
And this is all to ensure a good yam harvest, Mike. A good yam harvest. So, talk about dedication to agriculture and tradition. I'm just reading off the article. That's what it says. And for this, I went Blake Griffin, just because now in his in his current station in life and on this team, he kind of exists as his big highlight is to take an emphatic charge. Like that's his version of a highlight now. So a calamitous, a spectacular collision that brings a good heart. That brings a good. It's symbolically good, like this collision. So in this case, yams are W's, and it brings W's. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta get those yams, my friend. And if you look at it, comparing a bungee cord to a vine, young Blake had those bungee cord legs.
Exactly. Wow, nicely done. And now
he's got those vines.
He's got vines, boy.
They're just snapping off people's ankles left and right.
Perfect.
My next holiday is Flag Day. Do you know what Flag Day? Why we celebrate Flag Day?
I don't know why.
It's I guess the time when we decided that the flag was going to have stars and stripes. Like it was that day, the day that was written into, I guess, the Declaration of Independence, that the flag would have stars and stripes.
Yep. That
love the American
exactly
flag.
Right.
Love it. Chris Middleton. I say Chris Middleton because we don't ever really think about Flag Day, and we don't really think about Chris Middleton. But the flag is very important to a lot of people. And Chris Middleton is extremely important in the NBA. He's the second best player on the reigning NBA champions. He's the guy that the Bucks go to when Giannis just can't, yam down some dunks on people's heads. When his bungee cords aren't really working, they have to go to Chris Middleton to make a shot. We don't talk about Chris Middleton. Like, I
think about him for fantasy reasons because he sucked this year, and I had him on my team. So I think about him all the time.
I drafted Zion Williamson in, I think, the second or third round. So
oh, boy.
Disaster. He looks great on my roster.
He looks great.
Fat face.
So,
big boy face.
No, Middleton doesn't do. He used to have like 2.3 steals a game. Now he doesn't even do that. He's like even sub 1 on the season, or right around.
But I don't even know how to place him in greater NBA history. Like if you think about it, there's guys, so like traditional wing scorers, everyone from like Ray Allen to Tracy McGrady, people like that, they're, I would say, better players than Chris Middleton. But if Chris Middleton could just dunk a little bit, I think we would all think he's way better than he is.
I've got the confirm. He's like Chris Mullin. It feels like he's like very Chris Mullin. He's like
that's
a guy who's like,
yeah. What do
you think? Like, I don't know if Chris
is
Middleton,
that just because they're named Chris's?
It could be.
You're just only looking at Chris's?
It could be. Did Chris Middleton is he making All-Star games? Surely he is, right?
Yeah, he was like kind of, I think even before
Giannis. Like Chris Mullin's sort of like, he's in the All-Star games, but like his, if the Warriors then were better, it would be a better comp. And if they had like an elite guy next to him, because he was sort of like the de facto guy. Like if Chris Middleton was the guy on that team would be what the Golden State Warriors were to Chris Mullin.
Well, and the thing about him, like, so I'm looking at his basketball reference, nicknames Cash Money, WD-40, Baby Joe Johnson. Love a Baby Joe. How could you not love a guy who's Baby Joe Johnson? There's not enough baby nicknames. Remember Baby Shaq? Like every 2 years,
there's Lil Baby, Duh Baby. There's so many babies.
No, like in basketball. I know there's in rap and culture. There's a lot of babies, but I want more basketball babies.
Okay, all right. Glenn Big Baby Davis,
Baby Tiago Splitter. Chris Middleton's career stats: 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Nothing like spectacular, but that's also because he had a slow rise from. I think he was undrafted. He was a second-round pick. He averaged 6 points a game first year, 12 points a game second year, 13. The third year, and then he gets up to like 18, 20, like over these last 6 years. So like 20, he's a 20-point per game guy. He's a 5-6 rebounder, 4 assists, totally solid numbers. Not a Hall of Famer, but and the second he retires, we're never going to talk about him again. He won't exist. But he's important. He's an NBA champion.
Yep.
And the second best player on a championship team. That's a pretty rare.
We'll talk about him when he's like a coach of a team in the year 2040 or something. That's
probably the Brooklyn Nets. Next holiday.
I've got Day of the Sea in Bolivia, Mike.
Ooh,
Bolivia.
I support that.
So on March 23rd of every year, a solemn procession is held in Bolivia to commemorate the loss of the port of Calama to Chile. Now a landlocked country, they remember and mourn their loss of ownership of seaside lands by listening to recordings of ships' horns and seagulls.
So it's like an ASMR.
Yeah, but it's like a butthurt
big ASMR holiday.
It's butthurt ASMR.
That's like a pretty big deal to lose access to.
They're pissed. They're still mourning, and so just as symbolically, just I can imagine how living in the past, sort of not being able to like let go of butthurt. I went with KD on this just a little bit, just because, I love KD and everything, but I do get the sense that he's like literally everybody that talks shit about him on Twitter, he's cataloging and and has like a counter tweet to them. Like he can't do it for everybody who wants to, but I just kind of feel like there's a similarity there in terms of like any perceived slight, I'll like mourn it for the end of time and maybe create an ASMR butthurt mixtape about it.
I mean, this is rich for an American to say this because all we do is take land and we go coast to coast here in America.
Coast, baby.
But Chile to take the coastal section of Bolivia.
Yeah.
Chile, you're all coast. You that's all you are. You're the coast.
They just snaked them. Yeah.
Give a little bit. Give a little sliver to Bolivia. Just a tiny like I'm looking at the map right now. Give a little juice. Little sliver there.
It is a hilarious like how did they do it? How
I'm American, so I really shouldn't.
Anyways, I don't know if I love that one, but I like the holiday so much that I tried to fit it in. Just like the butthurt ASMR mixtape of like foghorns and seagulls. Can I have a copy? Where is that? I'm intrigued.
And like, do they align the speakers as close to the border of Chile as possible to like annoy the neighbors? You could probably blast it.
You could probably go get a seagull. Like you don't have to listen to a recording of it. It's not that far, right? You can go grab.
Do you think there's seagull wranglers in South America?
Just saying, if you really
want
to
listen. What do you think there's like a Mike Tyson like figure? Mike Tyson had pigeons on roofs.
Yeah. If you're missing the seagulls that bad, just go grab some. I'm sure they're there to get.
They're kind of a crappy bird, man. All they do is eat your French fries at the beach.
Get out of here. They're very aggressive. I don't
Bolivia, you're better off without seagulls.
That's what I'm saying.
But Chile, give them a little coast. Just give them a sliver. Okay. Coming up. Next holiday I have is Passover. Okay. Now Passover is very important to the Jews. It's one of our big holidays. If you don't know the story of Passover,
I feel like everything's a big holiday with you. I get Yom Kippur is a big one. Yom
Kippur is the biggest.
Everyone's the biggest.
No. Yom Kippur is the biggest. Passover, I would say, is number 2.
How's my pronunciation on Yom? Should I go more Yom Kippur or am I go Yom Kippur?
That's the other thing we get. We like to mix up the pronunciation.
Anytime I feel like anytime I say it, they're gonna go the other way. That's the game.
Hanukkah, like I've never spelled Hanukkah correctly.
Yeah.
Chanukah, come on, throwing that C in there or the H. We don't really know anymore. Hanukkah, in fact, is not a big holiday. It just has become big.
I know that much. That one's been made clear.
It's aligned itself with Christmas.
We're not even in competition with Christmas. Don't start with us.
It's not. Yeah. It's a minor holiday. Yeah. Passover, big holiday. If you need to know the story of Passover, the Rugrats did a fantastic story of Passover reenactment. There's a famous Rugrats episode that if you are a young Jewish boy or girl, you probably watched in Hebrew school, like I did. The story of Passover is an interesting tale. The Jewish people
start from the beginning. Let's hear it. Yeah,
there were these people named the Jews that were held captive in Egypt by evil King Pharaoh, and Moses, through connecting through God and via multiple acts of God, basically made the situation in Egypt so untenable for the Egyptians that the Egyptians sent them out and via God, and then the Jews wandered in the desert for 40 years before they got to the promised land. Okay. So that is Rich Paul and Ben Simmons. Rich Paul is God. Ben Simmons is the Jews and Daryl Morey is the Pharaoh. Okay.
Wow.
Ben Simmons feels he's held captive.
You're really Team Simmons here. You're really
That's the way it projects.
Yeah.
But I really feel like, who knows how bad the Pharaoh was? I don't know. It seemed like, I don't know. I think there's two sides to history, and we don't really get the Pharaoh side.
Yeah.
We don't get the wicked level retelling of how the Pharaoh feels about what happened at Passover. He probably didn't feel that great about it.
Very thoughtful of you.
Ben Simmons is the Jews. He just wants to be free. Let my people go. Mm-hmm. That's what he says. Let my people go. Let me get out. The thing is, and Rich Paul is gonna get him out of the evil Daryl Morey Pharaoh. But the thing is, it's going to take forever. He's going to be wandering in that desert for many, many years. And who knows if his promised land is Minneapolis, Minnesota, if it's Sacramento, if it's Portland. We don't know where Ben Simmons' Holy Land, promised land is.
Wow.
But Rich Paul's God, Ben Simmons is the Jews, and Daryl Morey is the evil Pharaoh.
Wow. That one's great. This is my last one, Mike. I don't know how many more you have, but I'm
just 2 more.
I'm running out of ammo. I had one that I didn't have an answer for. Well, maybe you can help me with this because I don't have an answer for this one. So in this case, I've got 2 more. 1.5. This is the Gilroy Garlic Festival in California, United States. This is one of those ones that's like, this is not really a thing. Garlic lovers, this is a festival for you. Here's one thing, they call it a spice. It's not a spice though, garlic. Feels like it's a root.
Aromatic?
It's a root vegetable. Actually, fuck this one. I don't want to do this thing. The real one that I'm doing is Straw Bear Day in England. In celebration of the new agricultural year, every January 7th in England, a man is covered in straw and led from house to house where he dances in exchange for beer, food, and money. So, so this is actually, now that I think about it,
seems
it's kind
like
of
more in Germany. You said it was England?
It says in England. Why? Are you looking this up as I go? Are you fact checking me? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to stay up to date with you, but so Straw Bear is a traditional character that appears in carnival processions in parts of Germany.
Let's get a look at this guy.
Pretty terrifying. If I'm going to be honest. If I was a little kid and I saw Straw Bear Day, I would be completely freaked out.
Let's get a look at this guy.
But yeah, they walk around and they.
Oh wow, yeah, it's real proper Wicker Man stuff.
There's a lot of Germany is. I don't. This is maybe a new hot take, but Germany's a pretty dark place. I don't know if you know that.
Hot take. Watch out, we're getting hot.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There's Whittlesea Straw Bear. There's a UK version.
Well, either way, I went with James Harden on this, but it sounds like kind of an indignant holiday for the one guy who's in the suit. So, I don't know that he's the guy in the suit, but like maybe if it's a celebration of excess, like beer, food, and money, like maybe that's like he's the god that the guy in the straw suit is worshiping or something. Maybe that's what it is. I don't want to put him in the suit because that sounds like a pain in the ass and beneath him.
No, but Harden really surely does live his life with beer, food, and money. Right?
That's what I'm thinking. And God bless him. It's if that's the religion, count me in.
I love that. I've never heard of that holiday. I'm terrified. I'll do one more. Groundhog Day.
Oh.
Okay.
Great flick, Mike. Great flick. You love that flick.
Yeah, it's really good. Doc Rivers coached teams in the playoffs because every spring his teams deliver consistency. They pop out of their little burrows and lose early in the playoffs. Doc Rivers coached teams in the playoffs or Groundhog Day.
Great one.
Burn.
Got him.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite I do like New Year's because it seems like everyone's basically got the same expectation. It's got a nice, if you have a plan, everyone's on the same page with it pretty much. Like, I don't know. Christmas is so much, in between families and the gifts stressful. There's just nothing stressful really about New Year's for me. Either, and also if you just don't do it at all, you sit around in your house, drink champagne naked, party on. Either way, it's a party.
New Year's takes a different like now that I have to account for children, it's less fun. I remember in early days when I was a young buck living in New York City, my friend, I think we were 25. And our friend pitched a New Year's party at an art gallery.
Oh, my God.
And so it was in the Lower East Side, and we're like, it's going to be fancy AF. Like, we're going to look good.
Oh, yeah. Love where this is going.
So we show up, and I'm wearing, like, I don't know what I'm wearing. I'm classically, like, if I have to elevate my clothes, I really don't know where to go with it.
I mean, you're still doing polos, right? Is that where you go? Are you wearing a polo?
Maybe. Maybe.
So you're in Middle America now, so polos that's acceptable.
I'm literally closer to the coast.
You're in Middle America
than anyone could possibly be. Stop it, you ivory tower mother effer. We show up to the art gallery, and it is simply a room and a basement with white painted walls and no art.
Mm-hmm.
There are like plastic buckets of beer.
Yeah.
It was essentially like a frat house in the Lower East Side.
Sounds like a cool party.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. But you were wearing a tux, and that's part of the issue.
But it was like, there's this good energy of when you go to that kind of party that you don't like, you obviously don't know the host. You're just kind of like, you paid like $40 to drink in a basement in New York City.
Right.
Where you're like, F this party. I don't need like no rules here. So you're just kind of like you're just like chugging beers and dancing like an idiot.
I know how you get down, Mike. I know how you get down.
This is a great New Year's Eve.
Break out the aux cord. Set the dance floor on fire. Mike, we did a hard 35 minutes, and that was a classic episode. I mean, that could not have been more glueguysian than that. That felt like an episode from 2014, Mike, right there.
That was a great. If only we were sitting next to each other and drinking.
That's right.
3 beers.
Three
9%
IPAs. Mike, how do we get out of here?
Thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back in your ears as soon as possible. Yeah, again, I can't promise that we're going to do one more episode. Maybe we should. Just Christmas cocktails is just easy. That's just a hang.
But 2 like hang episodes in a week. I mean, well, it'll be nice for the people who just like to hang. So maybe that'll be the case.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back in your ears as soon as possible.
Bye. At BK Glue Guys. Links to the Discord and stuff in the YouTube below and in the Twitter bio. Thanks, everybody.